Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pleasure Dome. That is the Guns and Yellow Ribbons podcast. It's just Alex and me tonight, and I've had a few beers, so it's probably going to be mostly Alex. We're going to look forward to we're going to look back at the demolition of Chelsea. We're going to look forward to the North London derby, and we're going to preview the rest of the weekend's games. I'm drunk at the controls. Alex is taking the lead. Anything could happen. Enjoy the show.
Get ready for the world's greatest Arsenal podcast. Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Enjoy the show.
Evening, Alex. Oh, well, mate, I even managed to slur that, didn't I? So I don't know how this is going to go. Hello,
This is going to
everyone.
be
As I said, it's
interesting.
just Alex and me tonight. Fergus, she's away on family business in Ireland. Dan still hasn't recovered from Munich, so it's just Alex and myself.
Poor
Well,
Dan.
actually, it's going to be Alex. It's over to Alex now. I'm just going to play with the controls and let Alex carry on.
Yeah, like Trev said, the other two's abandoned us for this one, so it's just us two. And like Trev also said, he's had a couple of beers today, so yeah, this will be interesting. Yeah, the main focus of tonight, of course, is going to be looking forward and previewing the game on Sunday. But first of all, I think we've got to go back to the game on Tuesday and talk a bit about the Chelsea game. The first thing I want to bring up, Trev, is for the lineups. For the first time this season since the Community Shield, Partey, Rice, and Odegaard started in midfield together. What was your thoughts on Arteta's selection of this trio in midfield?
Mate, do you know what? I thought we put out the strongest side we possibly could. I like that side. I don't think we get any stronger without Timber. I don't think we get any stronger. I loved. I say every week, don't I? 2 out of the 3 of Rice, Partey, and Jorginho. We had Rice and Partey, which I think Rice Partey being in there allows Rice to be a little bit more inventive and a little bit more forward playing. And the rest of the team picked itself. I was very happy with it, mate. Very happy with it indeed.
Completely agree. I think especially Partey being in there really freed up Rice and allowed him to go further up, especially in the press as well, where I think he's just one of the best. The way he presses up, he was just brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? When you've got Odegaard pressing at full forward, directing him, and you've got Rice pressing up behind him, I think it's fantastic. It would just stop people playing. I mean, Chelsea did get the ball, and they were playing with the ball, Alex, but they were playing the ball in their defensive quarter of the field. They just couldn't push it past us. It was magic. Listen, I've just got to say, lads, if you want to put some comments in and ask some questions, do that, because poor Alex is basically leading this on his own tonight. So if you want to suggest some
feel free
to talk about or ask some questions in the comments, please feel free.
Join us. Just I've got a stat down which shows exactly what you just talked about. We recovered the possession 15 times in Chelsea's final third, and that was the most in a Premier League game under Arteta ever. So yeah, it just goes to show how well we pressed in that game. Otherwise, in the lineup, Trossard played ahead of Martinelli, and Tomiyasu played at left back as well. For me, I think this kind of shows that this isn't really Martinelli's spot anymore. It's not given that he's going to play the left wing anymore, and Trossard's kind of taken over the last couple of games. What's your thoughts on that, Trev?
Well, it's interesting, Alex, because I was thinking about it myself, and I think we've got the kind of squad, especially in up front, that sort of says nobody is second choice, but we've probably got 4 from 6 that we're going to play every game, and we can move them around now. I think Trossard has developed as the season's gone on, and his confidence is sky high, and he's going to score your goals, you know. And that doesn't mean he's any better than Martinelli. That just means that they get to rest that position between them. I think that Saka has looked quite jaded the last 2 or 3 games, and I'd like to see us find someone there that could take a little bit of workload off Saka. But yeah, I don't think we've got any first choices and second choices, Alex. I think we've got a squad now building, that we can rotate nicely, you know.
Yeah, no, I see it as a good thing that we don't really have a first choice at left wing. Both are doing really good jobs. I think it's worth noting that Cole Palmer FC, Chelsea FC were without Cole Palmer on Tuesday's game as well. So I guess that did help us a bit. I think he's been behind 41% of their goals, and he's managed to get them 20 points from his goal contributions alone. So yeah, he has been good for them this season, and you could kind of tell that they struggled without him. But yeah, let's go into the game and talk a bit more about the game. And I know usually we do it chronologically and go through the events of the game, but I think let's just talk about the game.
What does chronologically mean?
I don't know. I just wrote it down.
It means you take it in time order, Alex. I won't gonna butt in anymore. Carry on, son.
Exactly. My vocabulary isn't as good as yours. No. Let's just go into the first half. I mean, we started off quite well, didn't we? I think it was 30 seconds, and then Havertz was through on goal. I think it was just an inch offside, but we started off really well and got the first goal quite early as well.
Yeah, we did. Do you know what? It was interesting the way it started, because straight away you could see that Chelsea are a poor side.
Yeah,
they're a poor side that, as we've said on this podcast previously, that Cole Palmer has actually carried a bit. You know, that striker of theirs, is it Jackson? My God, he's missed some chances. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just started, and I know Chelsea had a couple of chances in the first half, but we started on the front foot and we continued. I think Chelsea were very lucky, Alex, that we couldn't convert our chances in the first half like we did in the second half, because it could well have been 8 or 9-0, mate.
Yeah, I can remember quite a few chances in the first half. Havertz missed a couple, and there was the deflected shot from Trossard that went straight into the face of the keeper. So I agree, we could have scored a couple of more goals, but I was thinking going into the half time, I just really hope it doesn't come back to bite us that we didn't score more goals, because as you said, they had a couple of chances. Luckily, like the rest of the season, they couldn't really finish their chances. But yeah, I thought it was important going into the second half that we managed to score the second goal quite early, and as you know, we did.
Yeah, it was. The second half was so impressive. So Arnie's just made me laugh here. Look, Liverpool going to buy Jackson and play him next to Nunez up front. Oh,
he's
my
worse
Lord,
than Nunez, isn't he?
That could be a nightmare, couldn't it? That could be an absolute nightmare. But no, the second half, it was just a matter of time, mate. We were a pleasure to watch, you know. Pleasure to watch. I can't pick a player out. I mean, yeah, we pick Odegaard out every week. We pick most players out most weeks. I was so pleased for Ben White scoring a couple of goals, and
he almost got a hat trick, didn't he?
Throwing Cucurella around like it's wrestling.
That video of him jumping after the game, after the goal.
Did you? I spotted that and I thought that's hilarious. You know,
that made me laugh.
Chelsea are a football club in a mess, mate, and I don't give a damn about that, because they bought what they had with money and they rubbed it in people's faces, throwing fake money around, and now they're getting to find out the long-running results of that. And I don't care about Chelsea. I'm just over the moon that the second half we just came to life. Do you know what though? I don't know how you saw it, right, Alex? Up until he scored his goal, I didn't think Havertz was having a very good game. I thought he'd squandered a couple of chances, he's thrown a couple away, but it just goes to show you how fickle we can be and how football can change. 5 minutes later, I'm thinking, wow, Havertz is superb, scored 2 goals, we're away, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think first half you were thinking, is it another one of these games where he just can't finish his chances? Because he had a couple of chances, but I think his movement was incredible, and he's one of the few players who's got that. He's starting to build that connection with Odegaard. I remember one of the chances was Odegaard sort of drifting across the box, and then he made a no-look pass in behind the defenders to Havertz, which he didn't finish on that occasion. But it just shows he's starting to really build that connection with the players, and his movement he's up there with his movement. And I mean, later he showed he can finish his chances as well.
Yeah, I still think he's improving. I still think he's a quality player. I just thought that he weren't playing very well up until he scored his goal. Here we go.
I agree.
Here, look, Alex. Fergus has just touched down back at that's meant to be Stansted. So while he's been away,
standard.
We send him and his family our best thoughts. His standards of writing and talking haven't improved whatsoever.
Yeah. And I can see Matthews asked, where can Tottenham hurt us? Mate, we'll get into the Tottenham game a bit later. We'll just finish on the Chelsea game.
Alex, can you remember that for Matthew? Then when we come to Tottenham, because I won't remember, mate.
I will, I promise. I don't know what else we can talk about. I mean, you mentioned Ben White. How good was he in that game? And did he mean it, the second goal?
Well, yeah, of course he didn't mean it. He all but admitted that, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought that Partey.
Let's talk about Partey, yeah.
Well, the Partey made a big difference. I thought he just gave us a bit more strength and we're a bit more robust deep in midfield. And as I say, that the most important thing is he freed up Rice.
Yeah.
He freed up Rice to play his football. And when Rice starts playing his football, which he does almost every game, you know there's quality coming. You know that something is going to happen for the Arsenal, you know. And when Jorginho comes on at 71 minutes for Partey, Alex, and that's all right because Partey's done his bit for 70 minutes. We're 4 or 5-0 up and we bring Jorginho on, who isn't really weaker, you know. So, yeah, I was so happy with what happened. I thought Tomiyasu played really well on the left. Yeah. At the moment, Tomiyasu is my favourite to start on the left now. We seem to change our minds every week, don't we, mate? We have Kivior, we have Tomiyasu.
Timber coming back.
Yeah, exactly. But I like Tomiyasu at left back at the moment. I couldn't find a weakness. If you said to me, give me a weakness in the game against Chelsea, I couldn't find one, mate. Couldn't find it.
I agree completely. And I think what you said about Rice, I think for me, that was probably one of his best games offensively. And I almost forgot, but he was the one who assisted the first goal to Trossard, where he drove forward and just managed to pass it at the right moment in time. So, I think he could have probably had a goal for himself as well. He was involved offensively quite a lot in that game. And I think them three, they have to start against Tottenham as well. For me, it worked perfectly against Chelsea, didn't it?
Well, of course, you got to remember as well that Tomiyasu was lucky to be able to play against Tottenham this Sunday because he was on the wrong end of one of the worst tackles I've seen all season.
We have to talk about that.
It wasn't even a yellow card, Alex. It didn't even give a yellow. And
yeah.
Do you know what? For me, right, I think VAR has been steadily improving. I think it's had to because it knew where it was. But that tackle on Tomiyasu showed how far they've still got to come. You know, it was a horrendous tackle. And, you know, not even a yellow. Wow.
For me, fair enough, the referee didn't see it. That happens. But then why on earth didn't the VAR send him to the monitor? Because he's clearly missed the tackle, because he would have given a yellow if he'd seen it. So why hasn't VAR sent him to the monitor? Mate, you've missed something here. Go and have a look at it. You should look at this one.
Yeah, exactly.
But they just carried on playing straight away.
Go on. Alex, I'm reading the comments as well. So talk, son. I'm reading the comments.
I'll talk. I think just we finished the game nice and early. I think that was a good thing for us to finish off the game early so we can take off some of our key players. I was surprised he left Saka on. Were you surprised about that as well?
Yeah, I was surprised. Vieira came on for him in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Towards the very end.
Saka has looked He's looked tired for the last few games. But a tired Saka is still better than most of the other wingers in the league, Alex. You know what I mean? And as I said to you the other night, and we had a slight disagreement, this time of the season, there's 4 games to go now. You play your best team. You don't care about injuries. You don't care about tiredness. You don't care about anything. You care about playing your best for these last 4 games. And you run your players into the ground if you have to. You run them into the ground, you know, because
we've
this
got
is where it
four
matters.
games left.
Yeah,
I agree. We've got 4 games left. We're out of Europe. We've only got Premier League to play for. Play the strongest possible 11 every single time. And I think even though he didn't score, and he wasn't one of the best players on the pitch, I think he had a quietly good game, Saka. And I saw him take on more players, which I haven't seen him do too much in the last couple of games. I saw him dribble at players and challenge Cucurella, who got a yellow card as well. So I think he had a quietly good game, Saka, on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course he did, mate. Yeah. You see, the thing is, he's world class. So
Yeah, he is.
Saka a little bit below his best. He's still top quality, you know, and he's going to be very important to us in these last 4 games of the season, you know, particularly this weekend when I don't know when you want to move on to it, mate. I'm looking at this.
Getting close.
I'm looking at this side that's played against Chelsea, and I'm thinking, just stick the same 11 out. I don't see where we're weak. Don't see where we're weak, and I can see when I look at what Tottenham have got, and I don't look at it very often, if I'm honest. I couldn't name half their players, but I look at this Arsenal side and I think they're there for the taking a while, Lane. If we play like that.
Oh, mate, I agree. Completely agree. I think just finishing on the Chelsea game, I think looking back at it, a lot of people just think, oh, they've been poor this season, Chelsea. We had to win, and we had to win big as well. But they were eight games unbeaten going into the game, and they've not lost against City in the Premier League this season. And they've actually done well in the big games. They thrashed Tottenham as well. And then we go and win 5-0 against them. I thought it was a massive achievement and a massive performance by the boys, winning 5-0. I know they were without Cole Palmer, but come on, they are still a decent side without him as well.
Well, they're meant to be. I mean, they beat Everton 6-0 last week.
Exactly, yeah.
And we're all thinking, well, Everton ain't much, but then Everton absolutely played Liverpool off the park last night.
That just
shows. We say football's a funny old game, and football is a funny old game. But trust me, we beat a Chelsea side that were capable of putting in a performance. We absolutely schooled them. We absolutely schooled them, mate.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and again, the stats showed it. We had 27 shot attempts against Chelsea, and that's the highest, the most amount we've had since the Invincible season. So, yeah, absolutely dominated them on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving on now.
Alex.
Yeah.
What's our next game, son? Now. What's the next
moving
game?
On.
I'm not quite sure.
It's the big one. It's the one where you look when it comes out the schedule, the games for the next season.
Oh,
there's
Lord.
two games I always look at.
Alex, stop a minute. Stop. Can you keep on talking for another 15 seconds?
I can.
Because I'm going to pour a beer, yeah?
Pour a beer. There's two games I look at when the new schedule for the new season comes out, and it's the home game against Tottenham, and it's the away game against Tottenham. And we've done the home game, and we've got 4 games to left now. We're in a title race, and we're playing against our biggest rivals in Tottenham on Sunday. Trev, you've poured your beer now.
I'm back.
You're back. So I think for all Arsenal fans, this game will have some sort of meaning and is special. But for you, mate, I know it holds a very special place. Tell me a little bit about you growing up and why this game is especially important to you.
Yeah. Look, I'm a bit older now, so it's changed slightly, but I was, as people know, I was born and raised in Tottenham, Alex. You know, I went to school right behind the Tottenham ground. I had to walk up Tottenham High Road every day to school, and the more I walked up that road, the more I supported the Arsenal, because at weekend I lived up St Anne's Road, which was up more toward up Seven Sisters Way. And I was taken to the Arsenal as a young kid, and that was it for me, you know. And it was really difficult. It weren't difficult. It weren't difficult. It was challenging at times, you know. The weekend in the North London derby was always a bit tasty going to school, you know, because I was one of a few Arsenal supporters in a big comprehensive school. It was difficult going to watch the game away at Tottenham because a lot of Tottenham fans knew me because I lived in Tottenham and I was raised in Tottenham. But all those years of doing that, Alex, just made me understand why I was lucky to have been born to be an Arsenal fan. You know, I'm 61 years old. If I had been unfortunate enough to be a Tottenham fan, I would have never, ever have seen my team win the league. Not even come close, really, you know.
That's
Never
crazy
in all
to
my
think
lifetime.
of.
I'd have been celebrating winning a cup called the Audi Cup, whatever that is, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, this game, when I was growing up, I used to look forward to it. Really look forward to it when I was a kid. Used to love the day, love the fallouts. Although I wasn't a hooligan, but I used to love the arguments, and I used to love the stress of the atmosphere of the North London derby. But do you know what, mate? As I've got older, right? As I've got older, I can actually say now that I don't enjoy the game anymore. I don't look forward to it anymore. I go to the game, I want the game over, and I want to go home because I get as I've got older, I get more nervous, Alex. I'm
Yeah.
absolutely awful, especially this year with there being so much resting on the game. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
it's crap or bust, isn't it? And I know we're going to beat Tottenham on Sunday. I know we are. I fear we are. My God, I get
The
bloody nervous,
nerves.
son. I don't like it anymore. I just want it over with and come home.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially like you said, this year when there's so much on the line. I can't remember the last time. I mean, there was a lot on the line last year because we were going for the title as well, but it just feels like it's for me the biggest one I can remember on Sunday. It's massive.
It is. It's the biggest North London derby we've had for many years. But I mean, that will make the Tottenham players and the Tottenham fans rise to the occasion. But I honestly think much as in 2004 when we won the league at their place, they can rise to any levels they want. I know that if our Arsenal players play to their best, that we're better all over the park. Better all over the
Yeah.
park. And I'll tell you who's going to be a really, really important player for Arsenal on Sunday, right? And I
Go
say
on.
it slightly light-heartedly, but there is a serious element to it. Ben White is going to be really important to Arsenal on Sunday. And not just because of his footballing skills, but because of his skills with his shithousery, you know?
Oh,
It's a
he's the best.
high-tempo game. It's a high-tension game. I don't know if Richarlison's fit to play. Is Richarlison fit to play, Alex? Oh, well,
Yeah, he's been cleared. He's gonna be fit to play. I don't know if he's gonna play, but I think he's gonna be in the squad at least.
yeah, exactly. And if Richarlison's on the field, you know, with the way he is, and Ben White gets stuck into him, I reckon he'll get sent off within 15 minutes. I do, because Ben
Yeah, I
White
don't.
he's
Yeah,
our expert at the back. We've got when you look at our back four, I put Tommy Asu in there, right? So I put Tommy Asu in there with Gabriel, Saliba, and White.
yeah.
And I look
Back
at what
five
Tottenham
picks
have got to
itself.
offer. I think no. You've got nothing. And then when I look in the midfield, and I think Tottenham are actually parading Madison around like he's some kind of genius. When
Yeah,
actually he fits their remit perfectly, Alex. Madison fits their remit perfectly.
he
He's an
does.
arse. He's a grade
Yeah,
A arse. You know what I mean? Not very
yeah,
good at football, but tries to do it in other ways. And he won't get a look in. And I'm just really confident, mate. Right, Alex, listen, right? You talk. I'm going to put some comments on the screen, right?
yeah. I still want to get you involved, and I still want to hear a bit about going back in the days. What's your sort of first memories of games itself? You know, can you remember any of your first games going there and the score lines and some of the players who played back then?
Do you know what, Alex? I struggle a bit with my memory nowadays about putting stuff into place. I mean, I can remember Brady scoring the goal in the 5-0 win from the edge of the area, which is great, but unfortunately overshadows the fact that Alan Sunderland scored a hat-trick in that game, you know. And then I can remember like Flamini's volley and Rosiski's curler. Do you remember with the outside of the foot?
I do.
You know,
we won 1-0 that game, didn't we?
Chipping it over and side footing it into the net. And can you score one? I remember he flicked it over the defender and turned and put it in the back of the net. Mertesacker, I think his first goal for Arsenal was a header against Tottenham, and he never scored many headers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Henry ran half the length for the field to score a goal. You know, and it's there's so many, and the one for me, I loved Aaron Ramsey in a North London derby. Right? I mean, he scored that atrociously piss-taking back flick, right? That goal. And then when we played him at Wembley, he ran off.
I was there at that game. That was my first away game against Tottenham. That was away at Wembley. Yeah.
When he scored and he said, "This is my turf.
This is my turf." Yeah.
Wonderful. I loved Aaron Ramsey lifted his game for every single North London derby, you know.
He did, yeah.
And it was a shame in that game because Aubameyang's penalty that resembled a back pass meant we drew. But yeah, mate, it just gets me welling up. I never used to do it when I was a kid, Alex. But now I get emotional thinking about how much I love my football club, you know, and how much I want to see us beat them. And I just do get emotional.
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet where I get as emotional as you, but the nerves are certainly there for Sunday, mate. I'll tell you that. I think some of my earliest memories, of course, I'm a bit too young to properly remember us winning the league in 2004. I was probably watching it on telly with my dad. But I remember from that season, my granddad's neighbor gave me the membership box. Do you remember when they had the membership boxes when you were a season ticket holder?
Yeah, Alex, let me give you a clue, right? You know when I'm going like this, don't ask me to talk.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a deal. Yeah, I got a membership box back then. And I remember there was a DVD in it, and it had like Henry's top 10 goals from back then. And you just spoke about it. The goal where he ran the length of the pitch and then celebrated the length of the pitch as well. That's probably one of my most iconic memories of the North London derby. And then in newer times, actually the 4-2 game under Unai Emery. Do you remember that, where we came back from 2-1 down? And Eric Dyer, he scored to make it 2-1, I think, and he ran over to the Arsenal fans and celebrated.
He was saying, sit down.
Yeah. And then we turned it around in the second half, and they got a man sent off as well towards the end. And Torreira, he scored. Took
what a celebration that was, eh? Torreira.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That's probably one of the newer ones, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously last year as well, that was a massive one, winning 2-0 away from home. That was the first time in quite a few years we won against them away from home.
Yeah, because we went many years and they couldn't touch us. And then, of course, we had the end of Wenger's reign and they came back into it and started beating us a bit. And that hurts. That really hurts.
Yeah.
You believe me, everyone listening out there, and you'll know it, most of you. When Tottenham lose the North London derby on Sunday, that will be the most hurt they feel all season. They won't feel any more hurt than that. That will be the most hurt they feel all season. But it will be a reminder, Alex. Sorry, son.
No,
it'll be a reminder to them that building a big, flash, modern, lovely stadium doesn't make you a big, flash, modern football team, club, whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, we got to remember it's not, from their perspective, it's not just about stopping us from winning the league. They're actually going for 4th place as well. They're going for the Champions League spot. So that's just going to make it even sweeter when we beat them on Sunday, that we can stop them from going into the Champions League as well as gunning for the title as well.
Yeah. Alex, listen, son. I know you're going to ask in a minute, but I just want to get in so I can get the comments on the screen.
Yes.
We've got 160 odd people watching. I thank you all gratefully for that. I'm sorry I'm slurring a bit. Alex has been fantastic. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes here to keep me on my toes. Alex and me are going to give our predictions on the North London derby in a minute, and it'd be lovely if put them in the comments box, people, and we'll try and stick them on the screen, and we'll come up with what we think the end score is going to be, eh, mate?
Yeah, get involved in the chat and put your predictions. And if you have any questions, should we? I mean, we could bring up Matthew's question from before. I don't know if you can find it. Otherwise, I'll find it. Bop, 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 bop. Where can Tottenham hurt us? That was Matthew's question from earlier.
Listen,
where can Tottenham hurt us?
See this comment here from Anna, right? She accosted me at the Brighton away game a few weeks ago, right?
I remember that because I was standing next to you.
It accosted me and knocked beer out of my hands. I think I've just forgiven her now. I've just forgiven her. You're forgiven, Anna. I'll let you off.
She's back in the good books.
Yeah.
Only because you managed to get another one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Blacked it.
Yeah. All right.
Go on then. So, what was that question then, Alex? I can't find it. Go on.
I found it. It was Matthew. He asked earlier, where can Tottenham hurt us on Sunday?
Oh, do you want to go first or shall I?
No, you go first because I know what you're going to say.
Well, yeah, but it's true though, mate. You look at Tottenham's squad, they're screaming the praises about their centre-halves. I wouldn't swap either of ours for theirs. They're screaming the praises of, what's his name? Udogie, is it?
He's out for the game, by the way.
And from what I've seen, it's not Udogie, it's Udogie shit, right? Ferguson's going to kill me for all this swearing, right? And I honestly don't see an Arsenal player that I would swap for one of theirs, mate. I don't. They sing about Maddison. Would you swap Maddison for Odegaard? Of course you would not.
No.
Of course you would not. You know what I mean?
Do you remember a lot of Arsenal fans wanted Maddison instead of Odegaard back when we were buying Odegaard?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I can't see where they can hurt us, Alex. Go on, put me right, son. Put me right.
No, I agree with you. I think we are superior in every single position. I will say they have one player who has been good over the past couple of seasons, or actually for a longer period, and that's Son.
Careful.
He hasn't been he hasn't been as good this season, but he's probably the one player, if he has a good day, he's probably the one that can hurt us. But we are just, as you said, better in every single position, and our defensive spine, Saliba, Raya, Gabriel, they've just been superb this season.
Do you know what? It's strange because I was thinking about it earlier, that question, because I knew we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, right, come on, get level-headed now. Get level-headed now. Where can we say that Tottenham might match us on the field? And I even went on Google and I went done this, done that. And Alex, I can't find anywhere where I'm concerned. I genuinely can't find anywhere where I'm concerned.
And especially, which I think they'll play like they've done all season, even when they were down to 9 men against Chelsea. They'll play Ange ball. Ange ball. I think they're going to take the game to us, which I think would just suit us perfectly. Don't you think that?
Look, Alex, I'm drinking again. Come on.
Sorry, mate. You're drinking too much. You're drinking too much.
Look, I would love... Firstly, I can't see how they can bring the game to us by getting past our press. The energy levels we've got up in their half of the field is going from what I can see and what I think is going to pin them back there for most of the game. When they do break that, I think that what they've got to attack us with, what's his name, Kulusevski,
Brennan Johnson.
Who's the other bloke that should have been sent off at Arsenal who done a couple of appalling tackles? Should have been sent off at Arsenal in the midfield. Anyway, it don't matter who it was. It don't matter.
Bizuma Sarr.
I can't see where they're going to trouble us. I can't see where they're going to press us. And if they do, Saliba and Gabriel are going to say, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yep.
You know?
I think especially I won't ask you any questions. I think especially if we manage to have success with our press in the same way we did against Chelsea, where Rice really pushes up and puts pressure on in their final third, I think their midfielders will struggle to receive the ball from the defenders because Rice is going to be smack at them every single time.
Exactly.
And I think that's probably I can see us scoring from that as well. The way we press, and yeah.
Alex, does this
I'm confident.
What does this mean from Fergus? Every Spurs player will what?
I'm not sure. Has he been on the beer too?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me, Alex, if he's been on the beer. As much as I love my good mate Fergus, and I love him dearly, sometimes he confuses me, which admittedly isn't hard to do, you know. So yeah. Interesting question from Matthew.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well. That's a really good question. Do you want to go first on it?
No, you go first. I'm having a drink.
Fair enough. I'll go first. So I've written this down in the notes as well. We've played 4 games since they last played Tottenham. And yeah, you could say maybe they'll be fresher than us. But for me, I think, especially after the Chelsea game, I think it will be an advantage to us that we've played these games in between. And I think the amount of confidence we've got from the Chelsea game, I think it will benefit us that we've played these games while they've just been sitting at home watching video of us doing so well.
Yeah. You have to consider it, Alex, don't you? Because look at when we've had a break this season. When we went to Dubai,
yeah,
we came back absolutely flying.
We did.
It's no good just being well rested. You've got to have the skills and the quality as well, all over the park.
Be match
to carry that well rested into a game, you know. And I don't think they can do that. I think that they could have had a month's rest and we still would go out there and beat them on Sunday. I maybe going to eat me words next week, but I don't care. I'm saying it how I see it. I can't see them. They could, as I said, they could rest for a month, mate, and they won't. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat them as long as the Arsenal turned up that beat Chelsea. Because if the Arsenal turned up that backed off and let Villa play football,
you won't see that,
it's
mate.
A different game. But I can't see our manager letting that happen again. I cannot see Mikel Arteta letting that performance rear its ugly head again. He will be into him this week.
To be honest, I can't really see physical tiredness being a factor in the game. I think the players that play for Arsenal at the moment, they know what it means, that the North London derby, and I don't think, they could have played today and I think they'd be up for the game on Sunday. Yeah. I think they'd be ready because they know what's at stake, and I think just the adrenaline they get from playing a game like that, I think, yeah, it's not going to be.
Do you know what, Alex? It's really interesting you say that, mate. Because going back to when I was a kid growing up and in my youth and even years after that, you knew that the Arsenal players understood what the North London derby meant. Tony Adams, there's a great story, I think it's Lee Dixon tells about Tony Adams pinning him up against the dressing room wall and saying, you do realise the importance of this game, don't you? This is like no other. And at the end of Wenger's reign, sounds like I'm picking on Wenger again, but I'm not. It's just time periods, you know. At the end of Wenger's reign, I honestly got the feeling that Arsenal players didn't quite understand or realise what the North London derby was about, what it meant. Whether that was me having a misconception, whether that was the way it was and they weren't bothered, I don't know. But I just got that feeling that they weren't giving it their all. Now, with Mick Arteta, we're different. Mick Arteta and Edu have played North London derbies. They know those players will go out there on Sunday, as they did before, under no doubt that this is the game we win all season. This is the game we win. And I'm sure that we will go out there. It won't matter whether we played yesterday. We will be on a level with Spurs. We'll be on a level with them, and we'll go on, and we'll beat them hopefully. Arnie's got a question there. Have you seen that, Alex? What do you reckon that?
Should we sit back and play long balls like Newcastle Brown Ale did? I think we have to be a bit more pragmatic than if we played, for instance, Wolves at home. And I think we know how they're going to play because they play like that every single time. I think we should sit back a bit more than we usually do, but obviously still play the football that we know we can play. Because I still think we are best when we're in possession, and put pressure on the opponents and press up high and win the ball high after we've lost it as well. So I think, what's your thoughts, Trev?
Here we go, son. We're going to disagree. Here we go.
Oh, come on.
Absolutely not. Should we sit back and play long balls? Arsenal don't do that. We don't do that. We're not going to change our game for a team like Tottenham because we've not changed our game for better teams than Tottenham, right? We're gonna play a normal game. I'm sure we're gonna press high, right? We're gonna have 101% energy levels all through the game. If they get past our press, then our deeper midfield is going to be stepping into it. There's no way we're going to play the long balls. We are just going to play our game, which is passing the ball, beating defenders, and scoring goals. I'll be happy if we get 5-0 from 5 set pieces, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't care how we get the goals as long as we win the game. We've got a question from Fionn Doyle as well in the chat. We have gone over it, but I don't think we mind going over it again. Should Partey have a guaranteed start after the Chelsea game, or do you think Jorginho should come back in with the way he's played in the recent games?
Yeah, which is interesting, Fionn. My views change almost week on week with those three in the midfield. I know that Rice plays every game, right? And that's a given. Rice plays every game. Then you think, yeah, Partey should play because Partey's absolutely world class. But when Jorginho has come in, he hasn't let us down at all. In fact, rather than not let us down, he's been impressive as Jorginho. You know, his level-headedness and the way he calms the play down and he moves the ball is second to none. Sorry, Alex, I had to have a muted moment then. And so I don't mind if you pushed me, Fionn, and said, who would you want to play there on Sunday? I'd probably sway towards Partey, but only just. But Partey and Rice in the midfield, defensive midfield for me is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree I think it's going to be difficult for him to choose because we saw how well Partey played against Chelsea, but Jorginho, he's got the experience from the big games, and he's a leader as well. So I'd be comfortable with any of them playing. But yeah, if you had to make me choose, I'd probably choose Partey just on the back of what we saw against Chelsea because he did so well.
What we've done without realising, Alex, there, mate, is we've sort of talked about how great a squad we have, or how our squad is growing and building now. Because, yeah, we prefer Partey, but I wouldn't be put out if Jorginho played. You know, I wouldn't be worried if Jorginho played.
Yes, and it's probably the same with Martinelli and Trossard, isn't it?
Well, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly how it is, and I think that's been the biggest improvement for me this year is that our squad depth is better.
Yeah.
And I think our squad depth will get even better over the course of summer into next season. And if we can take a trophy into next season, well, it'd be unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of squad depth, I think this game is probably the first game this season where we have all players available for selection, because Arteta said on today's press conference that Timber was facing a late decision whether he'd be included in the squad or not. So, I mean, we're getting there. I mean, first game of the season probably where we have a fully fit squad, and it's come at the right time, hasn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? I honestly hope Timber doesn't play. I honestly hope he doesn't, because I just don't want to see him.
He's not going to start anyways, mate. He's not going to start.
Yeah, but I don't want to see him have anything to do with the game, really. I think we've got enough to beat Tottenham
for sure,
without risking what is a massive part of our future. A massive part of our future. He's had an ACL, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The last thing we want now at the end of the season is for him to get another big injury like that, because that's 2 years gone then, before he's back to his best. So I think we've got enough without Timber. I want to see Timber start next season. Absolutely flying like he did the start of this season, but obviously not get injured. Alex, I'm going to change in the subject. I think that Fergus must be drunk now.
He's getting there.
Which pub did Trev nick the original? I think that's meant to be Moretti glass from. I think it's meant to be Moretti. It's actually,
where did you nick it from?
It's actually a Stella Artois glass, and I didn't nick it, right? I was just leaving a boozer one day, and it rolled off the table into my missus's bag. I can't believe it happened. I didn't nick it. I didn't do it on purpose.
Did you bring one back from Munich as well?
No, I couldn't fit it in my bag. Did you see the size of them, Alex?
Yeah, I know you had 8 of them at the same time, didn't you?
I'm trying to find that picture now, but I can't find it, mate. Where is it? That picture of a drunk with 8 glasses. Anyway, you keep talking. I'm looking. You keep talking.
No, I'm just on Timber. I'm probably on the same wavelength as you on that one. No, I wouldn't risk him playing in any of the last 4 games of the season, because what we've got at the moment is good enough in Tomiyasu, Kivior, and Zinchenko as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Leave it to next season, and we've got a banging player ready to start for us.
Yeah,
because like you said, we all saw what he did in the Community Shield when he came on during the pre-season and the first half against Nottingham Forest as well in the first game of the season.
Well, absolutely, of course we did. Yeah, Alex, I've just found that picture. Right
there, it is.
Listen, I was on Ryanair's baggage allowance. How could I bring one of them glasses back? That would have put me over their baggage allowance. I'd have had no.
They're pretty strict, aren't they? That's a legendary picture. We had a good time in Munich, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, it was interesting, Alex, to say the very least. But yeah, it was a cracking trip. Once again, apart from the football, but yeah.
Apart from the game. But I mean, I've said this a couple of times, but I mean, being down there, I almost forgot that we were actually playing a game. I forgot why we were there, because it's just, I mean, having good fun with your mates, isn't it? Thanos.
Who's Thanos?
You.
Trev looks like Thanos.
Greek god.
Oh, well, yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, that's understandable. Right,
Trev is a former rugby player, isn't he?
Alex.
Trev.
We are 48 minutes in, right? So let's do our predictions, and then let's go through the preview quickly for the other games, right?
I've written down Fergus's prediction, and he's going for a 3-1 for the Arsenal.
Right. Okay. You can laugh now, right? You can laugh in the chats. Alex, you can laugh. Fergus, you can laugh. Capo Dan, you can laugh. But I am going 5-0 to the Arsenal. 5-0 to the Arsenal. In all seriousness, I'm going 5-0 to the Arsenal. I can't see where they're better than us on the field. We are playing so well. If we play like we did against Chelsea, I'm telling you now, Tottenham are in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble.
And apparently you've copied Capo Dan's prediction as well. He's going 5-0 too.
Capo Dan's not been able to talk all week. How has he been able to give me a prediction? He's still living in Munich, Capo Dan.
He left his head in Munich.
I tell you what, Alex, I can't wait till Europe next year, right? Because I gave Capo Dan a bit of an easy ride on the European aways this year. Next year, I'm going to properly lead him astray. Properly lead him astray. And if he leans against the wall in the bar again and says to me, "Take me home," I'm going to say no.
No. I thought he had quite a hard time, didn't he?
Yeah, mate, we all had a brilliant time, didn't we? What a laugh we had, you know what I mean? And made loads of new friends, even at my age. I'm making new friends all the time, and I love the Emirates Block 5 and what it's done. and I love the Arsenal away games because there's no the level playing field is we all support the Arsenal and nothing else matters, right? Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter what people say from the outside, what people are doing on the outside, what's going on anywhere in the world or whatever, right? When you go to a football game, you are all as one. And a lot of people on this planet could learn from that, Alex. A lot of people on this planet could learn from football fans being as one like that. I love everybody at football. I genuinely do. Right, I've got Evie there. Sorry, mate.
No, I agree. I think for me as well, over the last couple of years meeting you guys as well, it's changed my view on. I mean, before when I went to home games at the Emirates, it kind of felt like an away game for me because traveling over there and then meeting new people and stuff like that. But now I pretty much see the same people every time I go over there. And I'm in the same seat, Fergus's seat in Block 5. So now I really treasure the away games even more. And I can't wait to go on more away games next year. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the predictions. You went with
what's your prediction then?
Yeah, I didn't get to go with mine. I'll go with, I can see it being a big scoreline as well. I'll go 4-1 to the Arsenal.
Good lad.
Yes, I'm confident as well. I'm confident as well.
Sorry, Phil, I can't go 11-0 at the moment. I'm ready for 5. I'm ready for 5. But I'll take 11 all day long. If we win 11-0 on Sunday, Phil, I'm going to run down Blackstock Road naked. How's that, mate?
Remember that, people. Remember that. Careful saying that stuff online, Trev.
Hey, don't worry about that.
All right, shall we move on to the other games?
Go on then, go for it.
And again, people, get involved in the chat. Put your predictions in while we go through some of the games as well. All right, so starting off, we've got West Ham against Liverpool, the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. I think most people are saying that Liverpool, they're out of the title race after they lost 2-0 against Everton in the Merseyside derby. They're now facing quite another tough task, aren't they, in West Ham at the London Stadium? What's your thoughts on Liverpool's title chances and the game itself?
Do you know what, Alex? I'm going to sing my own praises here again, son. I said 2 or 3 weeks ago when it developed into the 3-horse race for the title, I thought to myself, if anyone's going to drop points, it's going to be Liverpool. I think it's going to end up Man City and Arsenal fighting it out. I didn't allow for us losing to Aston Villa at home. I genuinely didn't. I didn't see that coming from anywhere.
I don't think any of us did we?
Yeah, but I could see Liverpool dropping points, and much like Fergus has said, I'm going for a 1-1, mate.
Yeah, I can see them struggle against West Ham as well. They can be quite good at home, and they've just crumbled over the last couple of games. Liverpool. I know the media are trying to say they've overachieved this season, and Klopp's done incredibly well with the quality of the squad he's got. I think they've got a good squad. Looking at the squad, and I think I put a tweet up saying that, I mean, last season nobody expected us to be in the title race, and still the media was saying that we bottled the league last year. So I think they're being too good to the Liverpool side, aren't they? The media, after the loss against Everton. I think they've just crumbled under pressure, because they were the ones who were in the lead at one point leading the league, and the pressure was on them, and they lost against Crystal Palace, and I think they're out of it as well now, and I can see them drawing against West Ham as well. I'll go 2-2.
Right, okay then. It seems that most people think it's going to be a draw. Capo Dan's gone for a Liverpool win. We don't like Capo Dan anymore anyway.
Ferg's saying they've slipped on Klopp's salty tears.
Fion's gone for a win for West Ham, and Fergus, as usual, is Well, Fergus is Fergus. Yeah.
He's our Fergus, though.
Yeah, of course he's our Fergus, but he's not here tonight, so we can get stuck into him, Alex.
Yeah.
So what's up next, mate?
We've got Fulham against Crystal Palace, one of the many 3:00 kickoffs. Crystal Palace, they've done well, haven't they, recently?
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? They've come back into a little bit of form, haven't they, Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have mind. I wouldn't have cared if they'd have gone down, to be honest, because Crystal Palace away end is probably the worst in the whole of the Football League, not just the Premier League. But they've come into a bit of form. The new manager seems to have got them going, and they're doing all right. I think they're safe now, aren't they? They've guaranteed their safety for this season.
They are. I mean, it's a game where none of them really have anything to play for, but I can still see it being a good game. Both are playing good football at the moment. Fulham's had a decent season as well. And like you said, Crystal Palace, their new manager, Oliver Glasner, the German, he's come in and really done well, and they're playing really good football with Esse and Elise. And then I don't know how he's managed, but Mateta, their striker, he started scoring goals for fun. So yeah, I can see a couple of goals being in the game. What's your score prediction?
Well, I think that Fulham makes just saying Fulham at the moment makes me shiver with anger, because I think if we lose the league by a point, Alex, that'll be where we lost it. Because I mean, we've had some performances where we've been turned over this season, but at Fulham we were awful. We really didn't turn up. We were awful. Yep. So just saying the name makes me think, oh God, has that cost us the league? But Palace are playing well. I'm going for a draw, mate. I'm going for 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, just quickly going back, I think last season we lost the league by not winning against City, didn't we? In the games against City. This season we've got 1 point out of 12 against West Ham and Fulham. So that's probably where we're going to look back at it if it goes wrong. Fingers crossed it doesn't. I'll go with a 2-2 as well for the Fulham Crystal Palace game.
Okay. By the way, people, do not go putting your money on our bets, on our predictions, because we are very rarely right.
We're just going off our gut feelings for these, aren't we? We haven't sat down and analyzed anything, and we don't encourage gambling at all on this podcast.
No.
Stay clear of that.
Get your money on Arsenal win 5-0.
That's probably going to be a good bet. Next one is Man U versus Burnley. So last game they were behind at 2 occasions against Sheffield United, and they've had a funny season, haven't they? With Erik ten Hag. He's the weirdest manager I've ever seen on press conference ever in the Premier League. He seems like so disconnected from the reality. It seems like he's living on a separate planet to all of us. What do you think of Ten Hag?
He's a strange character, mate, isn't he? He talks some absolute crap, doesn't he?
He's weird.
But when you think of the pressure he must be under there at the moment, you sort of think he probably sits there thinking, "What should I say? What should I say?" He needs to get himself an advisor.
Yeah, but
in all honesty, this game is between 2 bang average sides, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is between 2 bang average sides. All right, I think Man United are going to beat Burnley. I'd like to see Burnley beat Man United just to see Goldbridge on social media, you know.
That would be quite funny.
I actually like Goldbridge, Alex. I like him. He rants and he rages, and he obviously supports his team from his heart, but he actually says some decent stuff as well. If you read between the lines, he's got his head screwed on and he knows football and he talks some sense. And I
agree.
What he said about Nottingham Forest, and we're not going to go back into it, I know, but what he said about Nottingham Forest and their social media posts, he had my backing 100%, mate. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
But I think Man United will be too good on the day. I'm going to go 3-1 to Man United.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, this season anything can happen in Man United's games. And yeah, I think they've got enough to beat Burnley as well. Bruno Fernandes, even though I despise him, I absolutely hate him. He's found a bit of form lately. and Højlund scored in the last game as well. So yeah, I mean they should have enough to beat Burnley. I think they'll win 2-1.
Fair enough. What's the next one then?
Next one is we've got another 3 o'clock kickoff.
It's the Geordies, lad.
It's how are the lads? Newcastle versus Sheffield United.
Once again, another game between two bang average sides, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
I've gone off the Geordies since the grief they've given us this season, and the dodgy refereeing decision, which could be another
first game against them. That was yeah. Let's not go back there.
Sheffield United, right? I'd be more than happy. They're down. They're going to go down, but I would have been more than happy if they'd have stayed up, right? Purely for selfish reasons. In that is such an easy drive to Sheffield from my house.
You got to think selfish sometimes.
Yeah, I'm halfway there already, so I would have loved Sheffield United to stay up,
but they're probably not gonna.
They're gone, and I think Newcastle are going to beat Sheffield United 2-0, Alex.
Yeah, I can see them winning, and I can see them winning with more than 2-0 as well. I'm going to go with 3-0. I think they've been good at home, Newcastle. They've struggled away from home, but at home they've been good this season. And 3-0 is my prediction.
Wow, look at them predictions for Newcastle going through the chat. My good God.
There's some confidence for Newcastle winning.
Get your money on Newcastle, boys.
Yep. All right. Should we move on to the next one?
Absolutely. Do it.
Wolves, Luton. Now, this is a big one. 3 o'clock kickoff as well. Luton, they are battling hard and fighting to stay in the Premier League. Can they get 3 points and go above the line? Trev?
No.
No.
No, I don't think they can. I think that Wolves are a decent side. They only lose to good sides like Arsenal, don't they? And they've got great support at home, Wolves, and I'm pretty confident that Wolves, although Sheffield United can score a goal or two, but I'm confident that Wolves can beat Sheffield United on the weekend.
It's Luton, mate. I know Luton as well.
Sorry, Wolves, Luton. Yeah, Wolves, Luton. Yeah, I'm confident that Wolves can beat Luton at the weekend.
I mean, they did lose to Bournemouth the other night at home at Molineux, Wolves, but I mean, yeah, they are a better side, and they've had a lot of injuries lately, as we know when we played them as well. But I think they've got a couple of players back now. Their striker Cunha, who's been good, so I think there'll be too much for Luton, even though they're going to be fighting with everything they've got. Luton to stay in the Premier League. I still think that Wolves will beat them 2-1. Even though I want to see Luton stay in the Premier League, I think a lot of us has managed to get a bit of a soft spot for them this year because they've played some good football and they've thrown everything what they've got at people when they've played teams, and they've scored a lot of goals as well.
Yeah,
Trevor's doing a great job, even fecking up stuff just like me.
Fergus ain't wrong, is he? He ain't wrong.
No, he isn't. It's the beers.
Absolutely. Of course it's the bloody beers, son. Right, what's next? Everton,
Brentford, the 5:30 kickoff.
Yep, it is. I've even got that written down, Alex, 5:30 kickoff. Are you impressed?
Well done. Yeah, I am.
Right. I've got a soft spot for Everton. I actually don't know why I've got a soft spot for Everton, but I just like Everton Football Club, and I don't want to see them go down. I think they've been harshly treated this year.
Yeah.
I like Sean Dyche. I think that he's a decent manager, and he's like one of us, and he's just one of the blokes on the street.
He is.
So I'm hoping that Everton will be too strong for Brentford. Brentford have already secured their first division Premier League place, haven't they, for next year, roughly, Alex?
Yeah, I don't think they have officially, but quite. I mean they're 10 points clear, so they won't go down.
Yeah. Anyway, that don't really matter. I just want to see Everton stay up. They've got one more year at Goodison, and then they're going to that shiny new stadium.
Yeah.
Which I'm informed reliably informed. Is a very impressive looking place. So I actually going to say I want Everton to win this game, and I think it'll be a tight affair, and I think Everton are going to nick it 1-0.
Yeah, I think even though I quite like Brentford because they've got a Danish manager and they've got a lot of Danish players, I think like you, I want to see Everton stay in the league because they've got so much history, and I mean they're a proper first division club, aren't they? So yeah, I think they will win as well. They always seem to manage to find some form towards the end of the season to stay up. They've done that the last couple of seasons. So yeah, I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to stay up as well, mate. I think they're going to win 2-0.
Yep. What did I say? 1-0. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Yep. And then we've got the late kickoff on Saturday, Villa against Chelsea. That could be a good game as well.
You'd think they'd put an interesting game on, wouldn't you, at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night? And they go for a mid-table skirmish between Villa and Chelsea. You know what I mean?
To be fair, they're in fourth. Villa, they're in fourth.
If Chelsea ain't got Palmer, they're in massive trouble. They're in massive trouble because
he's going to be playing though.
You reckon he'll be back, will he, mate?
Yeah, Pochettino said on the press conference today he'll be back in the team.
Okay then.
So that does boost their chances.
I still think that Villa will be too strong at home. I really do. And do you know what? It's very rarely that Capo, Dan, and me agree, right? Although
it is quite rare.
Just recently, it's been happening worryingly often that we agree.
Yeah.
And I'm with Capo, Dan. I'm going 3-1 to Villa. I am, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, they're going for fourth spot. They're going for the Champions League. Chelsea haven't really. I think mathematically they could get the sixth spot, but they're not gonna. So they haven't really got anything to play for. And yeah, I think away from home, the crowd is going to be up for it. Villa are going to be too much for them. I think I'm probably going to agree with you and Capo as well and say 3-1 to Villa, and I reckon Watkins will get a couple of goals.
Yeah, I think even Fergus agrees with us. Oh my word! So everyone's
Hente's always putting in some good stuff in the chat. What's he saying now? Everton have played the most of top flight football in the country. We could nick them. Oh, so yeah. I mean, there's a good reason for Everton. But yeah.
No, Alex. Come on.
No.
Henty, I get your point, mate, and I love you. I love what you do, but I'm not going to wish them to go down for that reason. I'm sorry, Alex. It ain't happening.
We're not that petty, are we?
Well, you're not. I may be sometimes.
You are. All right, moving on to Sunday. We've got 3 games left. Bournemouth versus Brighton. What did we think of Brighton's performance last night?
Oh, I reckon they're counting their money in their big brown envelopes this morning. That's what I reckon they're doing. Let me tell you, Alex.
Didn't you think it was a free kick for Foden?
Mate, listen. What did I just say? I think they're counting their money in their big brown envelopes this morning.
That did look a bit dodgy.
Any more than that, I'm not going to get myself in trouble. But Bournemouth, Brighton, it's got a bit of it's a South Coast derby. There are dishes apart, but it's a South Coast derby. And so it'll be lively there on the weekend at Bournemouth. But I don't know. They're just two bang average sides. They can play well and they can play crap. Do you know what? If it was Bournemouth or Brighton, either way round, I would fancy the home team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
So you're not fancying the home team. Yeah, I mean, Lord. It's a difficult game to predict. None of them's got really anything to play for, and Brighton, they've been up and down this season. So yeah, I'm going with the draw as well. I'll go 1-1. I like Fergus's prediction, going with a 6 goal thriller.
Yeah, we'll believe that when we see
I mean, none of us are going to be watching that game, are we? Because at the same time we're playing. We've done our predictions for our game though. But yeah, that's the 2 o'clock kickoffs. Then the last game of this round is Forest against City. 4:30 kickoff. What's your thoughts, mate?
Well, all right. Forest are playing for their lives, aren't they? Right.
They are. Yeah.
City are a much, much, much better team of players. They will have sorted out the brown envelopes wherever they need to go. They've not had to answer to their 115 charges. So who knows, right? I won't watch the game. I do not watch the game because it doesn't interest me watching a team like City. I just think it's made the Premier League something it shouldn't be. So off the top of my head, I'm going to give a prediction. I'm going to go 6-0 to Forest, Alex.
Yes. Come on, Trev. Optimistic. I like it. I saw someone, and it was quite funny. I saw someone say on Twitter earlier, if a team got 114 points, which is the maximum points in the league, City would somehow find a way to get 115, wouldn't they?
Of course they would. Of course they would.
Um,
Absolutely. So what are you going?
So you said 6-0. I think you're going easy on City, aren't you? I'm going to go 12-0 Forest.
12-0 Forest. Good lad.
Yes.
Absolutely good lad. Right, Alex, right, I'm just going to take over for a second now because...
Thank you. My voice is getting a bit... as well.
I don't know what's going to happen here because I've not done this very often and Fergus will give me grief, but I'm just going to press this button and see what happens, Alex. All right, son?
See what...
Do you know what, Alex? Some people have questioned that, right? Some people have questioned that. But that actually was taken from the block of flats outside the Arsenal.
Yep.
It just sends a shiver down your spine, mate, doesn't it? Sends a
does.
shiver down your spine. Absolutely.
Makes me emotional.
It is emotional. And I thought the world would be the other way around in my life, but it hasn't. The world has done me as I've got older. I've got more soppy and more emotional the older I get. We're so lucky to support our great club, Alex, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're so lucky that we haven't not won a league title since 1961, before the old fella was born. You know what I mean?
Before.
We've had loads to see. I know you've not seen a lot in your lifetime, but you will. It's coming. Alex, you have a word, and then I'm going to close it off, mate, because it's been a great show with you, mate.
I've enjoyed it, mate. And yeah, I think we all just have to enjoy Sunday, haven't we? And like you said, we're lucky to be in the position we're in. And when we're in this position, we just got to enjoy every single game. And we're confident. We're all confident, but yeah, just enjoy the game on Sunday, and everything will be all right.
Yeah, it will. Right. Look, regardless, we've got 4 games to go, and regardless of what happens now, we'll all be devastated if we don't get very close to winning it, if not win it. But for me, we've seen another improvement, Alex. We've gone deep into the Champions League, and I honestly think we've lost in the quarterfinal of the Champions League on the toss of a coin, on the luck of a throw.
Fine margins.
Not got hammered. It was a fine margin. Great choice of words, Alex. And we've gone deep into the league season, and we're still right up there. And we're going to improve. And just, you know, all the proper Arsenal fans out there, they all know, Alex. Yeah. They all know that we're doing it right, and we're going to be up there. Look, we've got 250 people watching, Alex.
On a Friday.
There's just the 2 of us. I don't know how you've pulled this off, carrying me while I'm drunk. You have, and we have, and we've had a great night. And Fergus is back. Fergus is back on Monday, and we're going to look at how the North London derby went. And then we're going to have a review of the European trips that we've all enjoyed. And we're going to
look forward to that, yeah.
and we'll look forward to next week's game. So thank you everyone for joining us. Please go onto YouTube and just subscribe if you can. We don't make any money, but it does help us do other things. They give us more openings in our broadcasting. So if you've enjoyed it, please go across and do that. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled by you 250 odd people that have been watching us all night. I truly am. All the best. Yeah. Good night. Much love. Up the Arsenal. We're going to win the North London Derby.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.